Looks like NVIDIA and MSI got in bed together and popped out this little baby. Check this out. This is pretty cool. For all you AMD fanboys out there, you're gonna love this. This is right up your alley. This is the K9N2 Platinum. So very bling board. You can see all that copper craziness up there. It's like a Ferris wheel at the copper cooling amusement park. It's nuts. This is pretty much your 750A chipset MSI AMD socketed motherboard. So if you're running an AMD Phenom, Sempron, or Athlon processor and you want to run SLI, this is going to be the board for you. It's got the 750A chipset, which is going to let you do 2 PCI Express 2.0 lanes. So that's more than you're going to need. You can run just about any video card you'd like on here. It's got just about every feature, and it's not top of the line, but it is very close. And you don't necessarily want top of the line, because you know why? These DIMMs over here, they take DDR2, which is fantastic. You don't want to have DDR3 DIMMs. They're very expensive still, and this is one of those motherboards that will support the 1066 megahertz DDR2, which is very fast. It's got really tight latencies, and you can usually overclock it. Your Phenoms are not going to be the greatest for overclocking, but it doesn't matter. You're still going to overclock it, right? You're not going to buy this board and not overclock. I did mess around with this board. It ran very well, and I'll tell you what, let's talk about some of the features you get on this board. Most importantly is the top 4 features are SLI, which is awesome, 758 chipset again, hybrid SLI, which you probably won't use. It does have 8400 onboard graphics, GeForce 8400, which are right there. It's kind of interesting that it has a DVI, isn't that? Isn't that kind of cool? DVI instead of VGA? I think so. So it's pretty much hybrid SLI, lets you use your video card and the onboard graphics together to save power. It's not going to be useful to most of you gamers, because if you do have this SLI, you're going to want to be putting big video cards on here, and it will only support up to an 8500 on the discrete and then the onboard 8400. So it's not the best feature, but it is there and it is kind of cool. But what is important is the SLI, the 1066 megahertz, and then also the Hyper Transport Technology 3.0 for your socket AM2 Plus. That's going to take your Athlons, your Phenoms, and your Semprons. So let's talk about this board. Let me give you the walk around. Zoom in there. Starting over here, like I said, DDR2 DIMMs, 1066, 24-pin motherboard connector. It's kind of interesting. This thing actually has 2 IDE drives. It's got one right here, and if you come down, right there, you got another one. You got your floppy over here. And then, of course, your 2 PCI Express X16 slots. You do get a PCI Express X1 right there, and then 2 regular PCIs. So those are going to be great for your peripherals. You can do up to 8 gigs of RAM on this thing. Forgot to mention that. And let's go over SATA ports. You got 4 facing backwards. That's great, so it doesn't interfere with your very large video cards that you're probably going to put on this thing, such as your 4870s or your 4870 X2s. That's 4 right there, and then you get an additional 2 right there, which you may or may not use. So that's 6 SATA ports, 2 IDEs, and a floppy disk drive header. That's a lot of connectivity for all your old drives. If you're upgrading from an older system and you have a lot of legacy hard drives, that's going to be great. What else do you get? Onboard reset and clear CMOS buttons, or CMOS, however you want to pronounce it. Those are power, reset, and right up here is your clear CMOS button. So that's very nice, because when you overclock and you take a little too far, this is going to let you reset your BIOS, start back from square one, nice and simple. Let's talk about the back panel, your input output. Starting from the top, very nice, you get PS2s. Right over here you got a FireWire, you got your DVI for the onboard 8400 GeForce graphics. This is your SP diff, optical output for your sound. This thing does do 7.1 channel audio, and if you don't want to use these manual connectors down here, you can go ahead and use your one cable solution using a Toslink cable. You do have 4 USB 2.0 ports right there, and you got a bunch more inside on the board. You have headers for an additional 6, so that'll be plenty. It's 10 in total. Gigabit Ethernet is right there. You have dual eSATA connections on the back, so that's really nice. And then your regular 3.5mm 7.1 channel high def audio. All right, now let me show you guys what's in the box with this puppy. Let me move this thing over here safely. And how do you open this? Ugh, come on. All right, let me dump it all out, because there's nothing really fragile in here. So let me sort my thoughts here. First of all, HDMI to DVI adapter, so your onboard graphics is going to be very useful. If you don't want to buy a video card and you're just going to buy this for the future, for now it's temp, later on you're going to get a graphics card, you can use the onboard graphics, you can go out to a big TV with this. That's fantastic. You get a very nice input output panel. Those are one of the pretty ones. I like the ones that have colors and little padding, very nice. You get Molex to SATA adapters, which are useful in case you have an old power supply. A couple SATA cables. Actually, this is 4 SATA cables. This is 2 couples. menage a trois. You get some IDE, floppy, whatever cables. No one's really going to use these, but they're in the box if you need them. This does have 2 IDE headers on it, so it's kind of useful that you get IDE cables with it. You get the little connectors. I'm not sure what the MSI calls them, but they're those little connectors that tell you where everything goes on the motherboard for your front panel connectors and all that good stuff. The USB headers, genius stuff. It makes it real simple. You don't have to look at the little color-coded chart, which is very annoying. This is where some of your extra USB 2.0s and FireWire are going to be on the back. So you do have the extra FireWire header on the motherboard, and you have USBs on the motherboard. This is going to use 2 of the 6 that are on the inside, so you still have 4 to go for your front panel connectors if you have a nice case. And last but not least, very important and very nice, I'll take it out because it's pretty, your multi-GPU SLI video link card, aka your Crossfire bridge. All included in the box, as well as the obvious manuals, drivers, discs. Let's see if there's anything special here. Drivers and utilities for Vista and for XP. Nice user guide, pretty thick, lots of good information. So very, very nice, and as you can see, that cooling looks great. The board is sharp, it's pretty bright, lots of cool colors. All copper, North Bridge, South Bridge, MOSFETs are all cooled by copper. Very, very, very nice board from MSI. They did a great job on it. It's the K9N2 SLI Platinum. If you have any questions on this, go ahead and shoot me an email, and that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys next time. For more information on the MSI K9N2 SLI Platinum N4 758 chipset socket AM2 motherboard, go to compusa.com and type in M452-6032 into the search box. Or you can always call us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 1-800-COMPUSA.